Hi, I'm Krystal Mazzola, licensed marriage and family therapist, codependency recovery coach, and author of the Codependency Recovery Plan and the Codependency Workbook. I want to talk to you today about why it makes sense that you may not fully know or like yourself. I know when you feel this way, it's so common to think, wow, if I don't know myself, if I don't like myself, then that must mean there is something inherently wrong with me and there's something broken about me. But that's not the case. I want to emphasize that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. It actually makes sense why you're disconnected from yourself. And let me explain. When we're kids, we have no way of telling the difference between what we believe and what others believe. So we can't tell the difference between what I want for myself versus what my family, my friends, my neighbors, my church, my community, my culture, and my society at large expects from me. This gets really confusing and it makes us pick up all of these messages as shoulds. So it might look like I should become a doctor because my parents sacrificed so much for me, or I should never cry because that's weak, or to be a good Christian, I should go to church every Sunday. It's only until we get older and only if we develop healthy boundaries that we can start to tell the difference between what others expect or want from me versus what I want or need. But this is a big if, because to learn healthy boundaries, we need adults to role model them for us. We need adults to teach us about them. And then we need actual experience practicing, setting, and having healthy boundaries. I know, though, that many of us are not taught about healthy boundaries growing up. And so we are walking around with all of these shoulds and not being able to tell the difference. And so we carry these messages around who you should love, what you should believe, how much money you should make, what career you should have, what you should feel, what you should believe when it comes to religion or politics. And the list goes on. While this is really confusing and it disconnects us from ourselves, I have really good news. Underneath all of these should statements, your true self is there. And so it's quite simple to actually start to discover who you are. And when you discover who you are, you naturally fall in love with yourself. The way that we do this is when we identify a should. So either in our own head, we start to think something, I should do this, or I should believe this, or whether we say it out loud to someone, then we can go deeper. So once you notice yourself believing a should, then ask yourself, if I didn't believe this, then what would I want? And it will help reveal what your authentic self believes, thus paving the way to real joy and self-love. So you might think things like, I should make more money. And then when you ask yourself, what would I want if I didn't believe this? And you might notice, well, I am so stressed because every week before payday, I'm starting to look at my bank account. I'm starting to stress out. I am worried I won't have enough money to pay my bills. And that's causing so much stress for me. And I actually do want to make more money. Great. Wonderful. You've noticed that earning more money will really help you live a life that's going to be reduced in stress. And so then to live your best life, it's going to be important to figure out steps to do that. But at other times you might think things like, well, I should become a doctor. But then you ask yourself, if I didn't believe this, what would I want? And you might notice, wow, I would love to own a bakery. I love baking. The thought of doing it every day and living my passion brings me so much joy. So now you know what will connect you with yourself and help you live a life that you're proud of, which will bring self-respect and self-love. I know that this is easier said than done because when we internalize these shoulds, it's terrifying to live our authentic life sometimes. There's other steps to do that, and I want to cover them in other videos, but today I wanted to highlight how you can start to reconnect with yourself and start to really like, respect, and then love yourself. I want to give an example from my own life. So when I was growing up, I loved writing. It was the first passion that I discovered. When I was a little bit older, I realized that I really do want to help people, and I discovered that I wanted to be a therapist. So that was always there as well since I was a kid. But my first love was writing. Whenever I expressed this to my family, though, they told me, oh, Krystal, writing's not a real job. And so I internalized this belief that I couldn't make money this way, and so I shouldn't want to be a writer. And that really led to me deciding, you know what, as much as I love writing, choosing the path of getting my bachelor's and my master's and becoming a therapist, that's going to be the most secure path, and I need to choose that. And after I became a therapist, I would sometimes feel inspired to write, but I never would allow myself to do so. And looking back, I think it's because I really internalized this idea that it's not a real job, and therefore it's a waste of time. But over time, I started to analyze, what do I authentically believe? And I realized I do believe writing's a real job, and there's plenty of people supporting themselves writing, and some are making incredible livings. And when I write, I'm my most alive. I'm my most authentic self. I love connecting with my creativity. And so bit by bit, I've been working on letting myself write more and more. In fact, creating these videos is a part of me tapping into this part of myself, because I really want to integrate my authentic love of creation and my desire to help as many people as possible have healthy relationships. I want this world to be filled with people who love themselves and in healthy ways love other people, because I know that that will dramatically transform our world. I really look forward to you connecting more deeply with who your authentic self is, because when you do this, you're going to know who you are and then learn how to live according to your authenticity, which naturally allows you to respect yourself and thereby like and love yourself. I am so excited for this journey for you, and it is so worth it. I know deeply how much you are worthy of self-love and how much your life will transform when you just know that for a fact. And I can't wait for you. I'm super excited for you to discover who you are and fall in love with yourself. And so for now, when you notice a should statement, please go deeper. Ask yourself, if I didn't believe this, what would I want? And then start to notice who you authentically are. That will be the first step. I can't wait to connect with you again. Please feel free to share comments. I love hearing about your journey. And until we connect again, with love, bye-bye.